you ever heard of Pùca? The Pùca's kind of like Shirley here, a little bit emotionally and mentally unstable, right? Yeah?
No, Mark, for the 30th time today, telling a man at nearly 40 years old that he should be able to locate his own socks is not emotionally unstable. It doesn't go in there.
Right, I'm not going to argue about a bit emotionally unstable. But the Pùca, right? The Pùca, some people say it's kind of like, it's a fairy, but it's not. It's kind of like a fairy. It's a being from the other world. And as I say, it's kind of a bit emotionally unstable, but it's really emotionally unstable and it's mentally unstable. And it's a kind of like a lone ranger, right? Now the Pùca, you don't really want to deal with the Pùca. It does help people sometimes, but it also, a flick of a switch, will make their life a misery, right? As in, for instance, there's a story of a lad called Sean. He's from County Down. He was Sean of the Broom. But he didn't believe in any of this, and he went into a pub one night and they're all talking about someone seeing the Pùca. And he was like, that's all BS, and the Pùca this, if it was real, I'd do this to the Pùca, and I'd do that Pùca. You don't know typical hard man? Right, and the Pùca, on the way home, Sean, and the Pùca is a shapeshifter, it loves, become at him, but it loves being a hearse for some strange reason. On the way home, Sean was walking down and the hearse kind of started nudging up against him like that. And Sean was like, you know what, I'm going to hop on the hearse. So Sean hopped on the hearse. And when he hopped on the hearse, the eyes glowed golden colour. And the horse took off like lightning, gone. Started jumping through brambles, going through ditches, up along rivers and everything. And Sean was hanging on for dear life, and this horse was going absolute bananas. And at this stage, Sean started to realise, this is real, I'm on a Pùca. So he started begging the Pùca to stop, can I get off? And the Pùca was having none of it. He was going to teach Sean a lesson. Like I said, it was emotionally unstable this side because he didn't like being disrespected. It's like kind of like Shirley here in the mornings to get me out of bed. And I was coming to a cliff edge and the hearse wasn't stopping, or the Pùca, and Sean begged and pleaded for the Pùca to stop and let it off. Pùca, no. So went right up the cliff edge, stopped still, and gave a little jaunty, and Sean went over, bounced off the rocks the whole way down. And there's two different versions of the story, but this is the one I'm going to kind of say. But Sean ended up being a cripple for the rest of his life, and everyone in the village knew the story, and he respected the Pùca for the rest of his life. And the thing about it is, Pùcas, you normally find them not in fairy forts but around fairy forts, because the fairy fort is the portal to the other world. And I like the gods. I like comparing all these entities from different worlds, and I was looking at the Pùca and reading about it, and it's kind of like, the Pùca reminds me of the god Loki, because it's the trickster, it's up to mischief, and then it'll help you 1 minute, and it'll give out to you another minute. It's just someone you stay away from. But you kind of have an experience in Pùca, didn't you?
Well,
Kinda.
It wasn't until actually we were reading up about it and doing a little bit of research that penny kind of dropped in my head.
Eventually.
Tried to get into my face. It's a Pùca. Yeah. One of our young fellas, when he was small, he used to always kind of say he could see things. Now, kind of passed it off. But this one time in particular, we were at a farm. Now, we'd been there quite regularly, and there was kind of like a little sandpit kind of just outside the window of the house. So he used to sit out there and play, and we'd be inside having a cup of tea, look out the window to keep an eye on him. He would have been about 3.5, 4 at this stage. So I looked out the window, he was there, kind of turned around, looked back again, he's gone. Oh, sugar. On a farm, you kind of panic, naturally, so outside, where are you? Calling, wasn't answering. So I'm freaking out at this stage. Next thing you hear a wail of him crying, and fear really set in then, so you're all running down the yard to try and find out where he's gone. And we met him at the edge of a field. How he's bawling his eyes out. He's perfectly fine, but he's bawling his eyes out. And I'm like, God, what happened? Are you okay? What's wrong? And he was like, the horse wants me to go with it. Now, I had always heard that the Pùca showed in the form of a goat, so not until today I realised horse, so that's what made that penny drop. But I said to him, oh, the horses, so there's horses down far into the field. He said, no, not that horse, this horse. So I'm looking into the field, there's no horse there. And I'm like, okay, the horse, he wants me to go with him, Mommy, but I wouldn't go with him. I told him no, I didn't want to go with him. And I was like, okay, so he calmed him down, brought me and taught not more of it. Not until today, and then I was like, horse, Pùca, wanted him to go with him. And then also that field that the horse was in actually joins onto a fairy fort. So, maybe it was a Pùca, maybe it wasn't, but I know he was freaked the heck out. I was a bit like the imaginary horses freaking me the heck out. Never joined the dots until today, so maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
Bad parenting there on Shirley's behalf, not keeping an eye on my son, but I leave her responsibility for that. But yeah, the Pùca, stay away from the Pùca. You can't give it an offering, but don't get involved with it because it's bad news. Like I got involved with something similar, and look at me here now. I love you really, but yeah.
Poor Mark.
If you like our stuff, give us a follow. We've more stories coming. Any questions, just drop it in the comments. I'll eventually get there. We don't really read them too often because it's just so hard to go through everything.
Oh, we do.
We do.
But if you like a follow,